guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to Steal the Spotlight. Today I have a super exciting video. I am going to be trying on 8 prom dresses for under $20. I'm sure you've seen this sort of video floating around on the internet for like the past couple of years now. Usually they're cheap dresses from places like Amazon, AliExpress, eBay, but you already know your girl wanted to put a twist on things. So all of the dresses I have today, I actually thrifted for under $20. No, not all of them are necessarily wearable, but I thought that would just add to the fun of things. I really like kind of looking back at prom trends throughout the decades, some of which are still just as beautiful today, others are seriously cringy AF. So I think we're in for a good video, guys. I am gonna go and get changed into the first prom dress. Alrighty, first cab off the rank is this little number, which was $10 from Lifeline. And just a warning, this is probably the most modern dress of the bunch in today's video. I mean, I assume that this is from any time throughout the 2000s or even the 2010s. I mean, I think it's still pretty wearable today. Personally, I like the really sleek, chic silhouette of it. Still has a little bit of bling up the top. I really like the diamante straps, and I just played along with that with the diamante earrings as well. The only thing that I will say is that it has a slight high-low hemline, so ideally you would want a little bit more fancy footwear, and I'm not much of a fancy gal, so I had to make do with what I have. But I mean, if you're lucky enough to find a banging dress at the op shop for under $20, then you might have a little bit more budget to play around with and get something really sparkly for your footwear. Okay, I absolutely love this one. I cannot believe it is the cheapest of the bunch at only $8 from Be Uplifted. Like, what a steal. Yes, please. I'm categorizing it as like a humble 70s glam. Totally just made that category up, but I feel like it's pretty fitting, which is why I went for the gold accessories as well, just to play that up. And then obviously also the sleeves is what really makes it lean 70s with the short frill to them. And I think it's really flattering, very pretty. The whole dress is very flattering. I think it would work on a bunch of different shapes and sizes. So I don't know, this might be a silhouette that you might want to keep an eye out for if you have a prom or dance, formal, whatever you call it, coming up. And do not even get me started on the color, because this is stunning. It is so bright and vibrant. It's red but almost leans orange, so if you were to find something like this, I think you would be hard pushed to find other people wearing the same shade as you, because it is quite unique and it would look amazing on tan or deeper skin tones as well. Honestly, right now I'm just wishing I could go back in time and wear this to my school formal, because what I wore was very basic, very boring. Like, it looks nice when you look back at it. It's not like it's super cringy or anything, but it just doesn't feel like me. I wish I had gone for something kind of vintage inspired, something like this that is vintage without being too costumey. Or I would do like an extra AF glitzy jumpsuit or something like that. Or, oh, what is it? The Rose McGowan, the dress that she wore to the Jawbreaker premiere, I have always loved. That would be an epic prom dress as well. But yeah, if you're lucky, I'll include a picture of what I actually wore to formal, but I would love to hear from you guys on what you wore as well. So let me know in the comments. I think it's pretty obvious which decade this bad boy is from. Honestly, the 80s have so many wild and ridiculous prom styles to choose from. And actually, when I originally saw this, I wasn't too convinced, because when I think 80s, I think a lot more fabric when it comes to prom and just a lot more going on in general. But I mean, really, there's no denying that the color, the ruching, and of course the peplum is just spot on for the era. And I'm glad I picked it up in the end, because when going through old photos, I actually realized that there's quite a few shorter length dresses back in the day. So yeah, it worked out well. I can't actually remember how much this one was, but it was from Neighbours Aid, and I'm guessing about $14. This one is probably the least wearable of the bunch, unless of course you actually have an 80s themed dance to go to, in which case you are going to be on the money. But yeah, I don't know, it was still a bit of fun, but I think we should move on to the next one. I don't really know what to say about this one. I feel like it's just kind of random. I had no idea how to style it, and it also doesn't really fit into like a prom dress stereotype, I guess. I don't know, I assume that it's from the 80s thanks to the metallic thread and also just the polka dots in general, but if you really just look at the silhouette, it kind of feels as though they were going for more of a throwback sort of timeless shape. I mean, if you could picture this in plain white, teamed with elbow-length gloves, have your hair in a nice updo, I think it could definitely fit into like a 1960s deb ball. So yeah, I don't know, this one is just a wild card. I do, however, have to mention that the polka dot fabric is very reminiscent of Andy's in Pretty in Pink, which I think is what first drew me to this one. And honestly, I have always loved prom and just school dance scenes in general from film and TV. So please, please, please let me know in the comments some of your favorite looks over the years. Personally, I love the Never Been Kissed prom. I think that the iconic duo concept is just so cool, and I absolutely adore when the three girls turn up as three different styles of Barbie. It's just iconic. I love that. I do also have a soft spot for Grease. I love that there's such a variety of different prom dresses in that. Yeah, I think that's another favorite, but I would love to hear some of yours as well, so please hit me up in the comments. Honestly, I'm kind of on the fence about this one. It does look nice, but I just think it's too casual for prom season, which is due to the fact that it has this large all over floral print, which typically isn't what you would see at a formal. It's more just like a nice evening dress to wear to dinner or something like that. But I don't know, when I saw it at Lifeline for only 10 bucks, I really wanted to give it a go because it was just screaming very late 90s running into like early 2000s vibes, which if I wanted to play off that aesthetic, totally would have teamed it with a chunky platform heel, but I wanted to switch it up a little bit. I went for these lace-up stilettos, which instead gives me like a dancer sort of vibe. I don't know, with like the one shoulder, the ruffle hem. I feel like all I'm missing is a red rose tucked behind the ear. Back with a little bit more floral, but this is definitely more on the dainty, whimsical side of things, and I think it is just the sweetest thing. I picked it up from Save Mart for only $15.99, which I thought was pretty good because it is made so beautifully. Obviously, this color palette of pastels is very feminine, and then it also has these little embroidered flowers as well, which is just such a beautiful detail. This is definitely very 70s as well, but also very different to the previous 70s style that I already tried on. And I don't know, I like both equally, but I don't think that this one is as wearable for today. I think it could work if you had like a garden fairy aesthetic, but definitely only for the right person. Otherwise, you might end up looking a little bit too fancy dress costume party-esque, but yeah, I don't know. I was actually thinking that if you got this in like a more washed out white color, then you would kind of lean more Virgin Suicides as well, which would be such an epic prom look, especially if you teamed it with like block heels and little bobby socks. That would just be perfection. But yeah, this dress really just makes me wish that I could turn back time and crash a 70s prom, take all the epic, really cheesy prom couple photos. Ugh, I love it. Oh my goodness, you guys, this dress is everything. I'm like one giant poopy meringue and I love it. You have no idea how long I searched for something like this. Literally months going to so many new op shops. Finally, I found this one at the smallest little pokey thrift store for only $12, and I could not believe my eyes. I wish I had filmed my reaction to finding this. I honestly felt like it was the best find of my life, and honestly, it doesn't disappoint. I absolutely love this. Obviously not something that really anyone would wear to prom today, but I knew that I wanted to find something that was more vintage than just the 70s, because you don't really find ones that go further back than that if you're just going to the op shops instead of vintage stores. So yeah, I feel like an old school Disney princess, like I should be swanning around a palace and talking to the animals. I love it. It also kind of leans like 1950s because of the T length of it, which definitely makes me feel like I should be doing the hand jive in Greece, which, as I mentioned, is one of my all-time favorite on-screen proms. So I'm very excited about that. So last but certainly not least is this little number. I think this is actually one of my favorites of the bunch. It was the most expensive, $18.99 from Save Mart, but totally worth it in my opinion because it is such a timeless piece. This to me totally screamed late 90s originally. You know, think about like Lainey from She's All That, Joey Potter from Dawson's Creek. They both wore a really kind of minimal silhouette black prom dress and totally looked banging. So I decided to team it up with the choker and the chunky heels to play off that aesthetic. But if you update your hairstyle and your accessory choices, you can definitely make it more current. I find it really hard to show you guys the texture of the dresses on camera, but just know that this is completely velvet, which totally sets it apart. And if you were going to wear it to prom this year, I think you would totally stand out from the crowd of satins and chiffon and sequins that we usually see these days. And I don't know, I think I would totally wear this if I had prom to go to in 2018. So I'm glad we are finishing on a winner. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to give it a big thumbs up for me. Share it with any of your friends who are prom obsessed as well. And of course, let me know which outfit was your favorite. I would love to hear your opinion on this one. I am tossing up between this and also the Ready Orange 70s dress. I think those were my two favorites, but I'd love to hear from you. So hit me up in the comments and make sure you subscribe. So I see you next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Mwah.